Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully complete our all subcategory. Right now, I don't have any data. For the reasons it's not display nothing, right? So now in this video, I want to work for our add subcategory. Now let's do that work. For doing this in our that is our one of the sub menu, right? Into the sidebar area, I want to create another new route. So process will be just like that same. Here I want to name it as a add as subcategory. So this type of one of the route now I want to create. I copy it. Now go to our web.php and into this web.php. Now that will be as a add subcategory. I want to create one of the new URL will be as a add subcategory, and also I want to create another new method that will be as a add subcategory. Okay. So now this type of one of the method I want to create in our subcategory controller. Now go to our subcategory controller. Here after this I want to name it as a public and then function, and our method name will be as a add subcategory. Great. And also I want to better make it as an and method. Here I only want to do pass one of the view page. Okay, here I simply return one of the view page, so that is our return view page. And also here I want to load our category, right? Because when you insert that subcategory, we need that our category name. For the reasons I want to take all the things from our category, and that means I want to get that our category data. So if you want to get this category data, I want to take one of the variable and I just name it as a categories. Okay, categories. So that will be the categories. I take one of the variable. Now by the category model, I want to get it. So I make it as a order by. Okay, order by. So that will be the order by. I want to get it by the our name. If you now go to our category, that means our database, and that is our categories table, right? So into the categories table or field name as a category name, I want to get this by the category name. Okay, I copy it and now I name it as a category name. So I want to get this as a category name, and also I want to take it as a ascending order. So that will be the ascending, or rather than you can also use it as a descending order. Okay, so I simply take it as a ascending order, and then I want to get all the data. So that will be as a get all data. Okay, perfect. So here I simply get that our categories table all the data by the category name, ascending order. I get all the data, take the things with this variable. Now that is the categories data I want to pass it in one of the another page as a category. That means our subcategories folder. Now I want to create on the new file as a subcategories add. Okay, so now I want to pass it all that our categories data. Because here I will actually load one of the options. So when I run it, everything will be more clear. Now I want to create our page as a subcategories add in our subcategory. Now into the subcategory, I want to create another new file, and here I name it as a save as a subcategories add.blade.php. Okay, I simply created this page. Great. So here that will be just like our category add. From to the category add, I copy everything, and now in our subcategories add area, here I paste it. Okay, so right now we don't need this because here they have no images. I remove this, and also if you want to add some of the validation, you can add this validation. Like first of all, that will be as add subcategory. I make it as add subcategory. Okay, add subcategory, that will be as add subcategory, and also our action route, that will be as a category. I better name it as a category name, and that will be our subcategory name. Okay, here I want to do better, I copy it. Okay, copy it, and then here we don't need any images. I simply remove it, and also images functionality I remove it, and then that will be our submit button. So I want to paste it. Okay, so now that will be our another field as a subcategory. So that will be as a subcategory name will be visible. Okay, perfect. So for the subcategories, I want to do our field name. I want to update our field name for the subcategories as a subcategory underscore name. I copy it. Now that will be as a subcategory name, and here I want to load all that our categories. So for the reasons, I want to take one of the select form. If you go to our theme, into the theme area, I want to go to our form, and as I told you before, I want to load on the theme, one of the select form actually. So that is a clear select form, but I want to take it from to the inspect, and from to the inspect I want to take it like as this one select form. I want to take it with the edit HTML. I simply copy everything from here, and now in input field area, here I paste it. Okay, so now that is our option, and that is our select. Great. So now only one will be needed because I want to make it as a dynamic. So for the reasons here I remove both of this, and now that is our one option. Here I want to add one of the for each loop. I simply added that for each loop, and also after that option I want to AND it. So that will be the and for each. Okay, so that will be the and for each. Great. So into the for each area here I want to do, and I have already passed one of the data. I have already passed that our categories data in our subcategories add page by this variable as a categories. Now with these categories, okay, I take on the variable as a categories and I just make it as $cat. Okay, so that will be as a cat or category, whatever you choose. So I make it as a category. So that will be the category, whatever the name actually choose. Right now I want to access all that name by this category. Okay, so right now I am already into the for each loop. Here I want to make it as a dynamic. Right now by this category I want to access our categories field name. Our categories field name, if you go, our categories field name as a category name, right? So now I want to display this category name. I hope friend it's very clear to you. And in our value area, into the value area I want to pass our category table ID. If you go to our browse, here you can see that is all that our ID, and that is our category name. So when you select it as a category name as a fashion, I want to insert as a 1. Okay, and also when you select it as a category as a electronics, I want to insert that value ID as a 2. So for the reasons I want to also pass, make it as a dynamic. Here that will be the same by this category. I want to access our categories table field name as a ID. Okay friends, now that should be loaded successfully. Great, so that's all. And also if you want to add some of the validation for the subcategory name, better I want to make it as a subcategory name as a required, and subcategory name will be displayed as a sub. Okay, subcategory name will be displayed, and also here we have to add that as a form group. I simply copy it. Now in our subcategories, that means that is our subcategories. Here I have already added that form group, which is totally fine. Okay, now if you click as a save all, and now if you go, I want to check it, now refresh it, and now if you click as a add subcategory, so now that is one of the error as a syntax error, unexpected end of the file. Unexpected end means here I have already ended. If you go in our subcategories, that is our for each, you can see the spelling mistake, that will be the for each, right? So that is will be the and for each. Now if you click as a save all, now if you go refresh it, yeah, you can see it's successfully loaded. So now friend, I hope you get that idea why I'm actually loaded the category. So now that is our category name, and when you select it, yes, you can see all that category that I have already created, some of the category in here, all that our category now selected. That means it's now loaded in here, right? So for the reasons in our subcategory area, here I have already loaded our categories. You can see it's now successfully get all that our categories. I take the things with this variable, and here now I pass that categories in our subcategory add page. Now into the subcategory add page, that is our for each loop. Now it's successfully loaded, right? In our option area, now that is loaded. Perfect, perfect, great. So now I want to store this data, that is our subcategory name. Right, so that is also another field. I name it as a subcategory name, and here in our select form, that is a select form area, I want to pass that name, and name will be which one. Here I have already named it in our subcategories as a category ID. Okay, so now I want to name it as a category ID. Great. So that will be our requested data. Now I want to store this data. So if you want to store, you can see also there is a NCTab multi-part form data. Here we don't need this obviously because of all from to this position. I don't want to update any images, right? And our CSRF token will be needed. Our my form, if you want to check it, like here I want to check that, make it as empty. Yeah, you can see our validation is also successfully working, which is fine. And now I want to create on the new route, that will be as a store subcategory. Okay, I make it as a subcategory. So now I want to create this route as a store subcategory in our web route. So into this web, that will be one of the post method. I name it as a store subcategory. Our URL will be as a store subcategory. I want to create on the new method, that will be as a subcategory. Okay, that will be store subcategory. I simply copy it, and now better I want to do from our category controller, I want to take that store. So only I want to remove that image functionality. I copy it. Okay, I copy it, and now in our subcategories here, after that I want to paste it. Great. So our route name, method name will be as a store subcategory. I simply copy it. Now go to our web route. That means our subcategory controller here. I want to create this method. Our method name will be as a store subcategory. Okay. And also here I pass that a request and request. Great. So right now we don't need any image functionality. I simply remove it. That will be very easy. And now our where I'm actually want to insert it, I want to insert it in our subcategory area. So now that will be our subcategory. I want to insert it here. We have to add that our field name here, or if you go, that will be as a category ID. So I make it as a category ID. Category ID will be requested field name. If you go to our subcategory add page, our requested field name, I name it as a category ID, right? Now that will be our requested ID. Great. And also I want to take another one. Better I copy it and I paste it. So also another one will be as a subcategory name. I copy it. So now that will be as a subcategory name. And also I want to get that our requested subcategory name as a subcategory. That is a subcategory underscore name. So I want to take it. That will be our requested one. And our slag will be same. Our subcategory slag, because whatever the things will be inserted in our subcategory name area, now that will be our subcategory slag, right? Same functionality, only our requested field will be which one as a subcategory name. Great. So friend, that's all. Okay, that's all we have to do. Now we have to change that our message will be displayed as a subcategory inserted successful. It will be return redirect to our view all page that I have already created as a all subcategory. Now that will be as a all subcategory. It will be return redirect to our particular this page. Great. So I hope every part is very clear to you. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go, I want to insert it like here. I want to insert it. Now everything will be more clear why I'm actually using that I'm or one of the foreign key of our category table. So that is actually category ID will be matched with our category table, and that is actually ID. I show you now. If you refresh it, now like I wanted to select it some of the demo data like here. There is a fashion. For the fashion, I want to insert as a man's top wear. So I want to select it as a fashion, and here our subcategory will be as a man's top wear. Now save changes. Yes, you can see it's now successfully updated as a subcategory inserted successful. Right. So now you can see it's now display our ID as a category ID, and also it's display as a man's top wear. Now I want to insert another one as a man's bottom wear. I copy it. Now add that, that is our subcategory, right? Here also you have to update our URL. Now that will be as a add subcategory. I want to update. Now I want to select it again as a fashion. Here a man's bottom wear. I save it, and also now I want to take it like as a computer. Okay, computer accessories or mobile accessories. I take it as a electronics. I want to add another subcategory. I make it as another one as that will be as electronics. As a principles, as a computer principles, I see as a save changes. Now you can see it's now inserted as a 2ID, and now there is a computer principles, and I make it as a mobile accessories. Now you can add another subcategory. So here little we'll have to add a lot of the data. I make it as electronics and then mobile accessories. I click as a save changes. It's now successfully inserted. Right, that is a subcategory inserted successful. So now if you go to our database, now everything will be more clear. If you now click as a browse, now you can see, friend, now that is our category ID 1. Category ID 1 means which one? That means if you go here, that is our categories table, and that is our ID 1. Category ID 1 means the fashion, right? And also here I have used another one as a inserted as a category ID 2. And if you now go there, now in our category table, there is a 2 ID means that will be as a electronics. Right. So as I told you, that is actually the category ID that will be matched in our categories table, and that is our ID. Right here, I hope you get some of the idea. So now here is successfully inserted all the data. Is everything work perfectly? So here I want to do two things. One, that should be I want to update that menu first. Okay, that will be another sidebar. Into the sidebar, our route will be as a add subcategory. I simply copy it. And now in our subcategory all page here, that is also one of the menu as a add subcategory. I will simply updated that route name. That will be as a add subcategory. Great. But right now, before what exactly I have done, Here you can see in our subcategory all page, I simply add that our item, with this item it will be displayed the category ID. For the reasons here you can see it's inserted our specific ID, that means in our category ID area, that is our ID is visible. So now I want to create one of the relationship. I want to create one of the relationship from our subcategory to our categories table. So here I want to do when our category ID will be matched with our subcategory table and this ID, then I want to get a specific this ID related name, right? So now that is the things I want to do, and to create one of the new relationship. If you want to do this work, that is in our subcategory, right? So into the subcategory area, here I want to create another new function, and I just name it as a public, and then function, and I just name it as a category. Okay, that will be as a category, category, category. And whatever the name actually choose, I created this type of one of the function as a category. So now into this category area, here I want to return one of these. Okay, that means that will be as a return this. It will be belongs to in our which table. So here it will be as a belongs to. So it should be as a belongs to, and it should be belongs to, that means our subcategory will be belongs to our which table, it should be belongs to our category. So for the category, I have already created our model name as a category, right? So now here we have to add it as a category, that is our category model class. So I simply loaded the class. Okay, so model class, so I simply loaded the class. Okay, so that will be as a class. And here now only you have to understand what exactly the things here we have to do. Like that is our subcategories, that will be belongs to by this belongs to method. I want to, it should be belongs to our category table. That means in our subcategories table, that is our category ID will be matched with our category table ID. Then that will be created that relationship, right? So for the reasons here I want to do in our subcategories table, into the subcategories table, our field name as a category underscore ID, right? So if you go, make the sure spelling is correct. That means in our subcategories table, so that is our subcategories table, that is our field name as a categories underscore ID. So that is our category ID. So it should be matched with our category table field name. Category table field name, here I have already discussed about that things with you. That will be our ID, right? That means our subcategories table, our field name as a subcategory ID, that will be matched with our categories table ID. So I simply added that things in particular that position. So that will be our total relationship. And I just call that relation our function name as a category. So now if you go to our subcategory here, now I want to do to update. First of all, here we have to add that our item. And after that item, now I want to add that our relationship name as a category, right? And after that category, here now we have to add that our field name. That means here right now it will be matched with our category ID, with our category table ID. When both of these will be matched, now I want to get that our category name. So that is actually our field name, right? So now I want to display it as a category underscore name, right? Now that should be not display ID, it should be display our name. Like if you now click as a save all, and now if you go here, I want to refresh it. Now that should be display the name, not that ID. You can see it's not display the fashion, that is a fashion, electronics and electronics. Great. And if you now add another one, like I want to add another one as a sweet home for the home furniture. Okay, I copy it, and now I want to add that as a sweet home, and I make it as a home furniture. Click as a save changes. Now that should be display as a name, as a sweet home. Great. So how to do this work, friend? I hope it's very much clear to you. So now in our next video, I want to complete that edit functionality. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.